Hey guys, I know this video is kind of late, but this is going to be my June movie preview show, pretty much where, if you don't know what this is about, I go through all the movies that are coming out in June. I tell you which ones I'm going to see and which ones I'm not going to see. And I do, like the mainstream ones, especially because it's summertime. I usually do the smaller releases in movies when it's not summertime. But this month there are a couple movies that I think could go wide eventually, so I will talk about them, but I'll talk about them briefly. They're not going to be on the thumbnail of this video. They might be, but I'm not sure. So, let's just get to it. June's a very interesting month. There is like one really big one that's coming out, of course. We all know what it is. I don't think I need to say it to you because I'm sure you know. But let's just get started in this month of June. And I think May was a pretty good month of movies. I think for the most part, they had some really great movies in May. And I think with May, there were a lot of movies that exceeded people's expectations that were better, like Star Trek Into Darkness and Iron Man 3 I heard was pretty good. I didn't see it though. The Great Gatsby was great. So that's great that May was a really good month for movies. Except for the two this week. After the Night You See Me, I heard both of those were not very good. So, aside from that, though, I heard it was a pretty good month. So, let's just get started with June. The first one we're going to talk about is The Internship. This one, of course, does have the duo of Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson back together. They are working again together, and I think this movie looks hilarious. I saw a preview for it during Star Trek Into Darkness when I wanted to see it. And when I saw it with my friend's like, we gotta see that one together next because he really wants to see it. I really want to see it, so most likely I will see it in the theater. I think it looks very, very funny, and it definitely, though there are two comedies on here, one of them looks a lot funnier than this. This one does look funny. Like, the scene with Professor X always cracks me up. That scene's really funny. Now, this next one, I think this is one of the most interesting concepts for a horror movie in a long time. And it's not necessarily horror. It's more of, what would happen type of movie. Basically, what would happen if the whole world was at peace? And, if the whole world was at peace, and, but there's one day each year called The Purge where all crime is legal, and, that's the movie called The Purge, and that will be coming out the same day as The Internship, June 7th, and, I think this one looks fantastic, honestly. Ethan Hawke is he looks totally different from the way he did in Sinister. I didn't even realize it was Ethan Hawke until I saw the credits. I'm like, oh, it's Ethan Hawke. I didn't realize. But I think it's going to be a really interesting movie. I don't know if I'll be able to see it in theaters, but I definitely am looking forward to it. And it's more of a thriller. I don't really think it's horror. It's just more of a thriller, I'm going to, hang on one second. I'm going to put on some music. I need relaxing music here. What should I put on? I'm going to put on something that's not Tony related, so we'll start with Find You There. So yeah, like I said, I think this is a very interesting. Oh, there we go. There's my playlist that I made. So I think this could be a very interesting movie. I think it is going to be a very interesting concept, too, and I think it could be really good. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Again, I don't know if I'll be able to see it in theaters, but I really am looking forward to it, and I do think it could be a really good movie. But it also could be just mediocre. But I do hope it's good, because from the previews, it looks like they're really putting a lot of effort into this one. I do think the score in it's kind of weird, though. And then the 14th, let's just get to the biggest one. But no doubt about it, the biggest one this month is Man of Steel, which of course is from, oh my gosh. What's his name? Christopher Nolan. Thank you. Not Christopher Nolan, but Zack Snyder. And, last big Warner Brothers superhero movie we had was The Dark Knight Rises, which in my opinion was okay. It wasn't anything amazing. I mean, it was amazing, but it did have a really good ending. But it wasn't, like, amazing like The Avengers. The Avengers was a real big superhero movie. But I think since Iron Man 3 was wasn't as good as everyone said it was. They wanted to be. I think this one is going to be the best one out of all the superhero movies. I think it could be really good, and I'm definitely looking forward to see it. So definitely on the 14th, Man of Steel, I will definitely be there to see it. But this movie, I think this might be the one that, believe it or not, I want to see the most, because finally coming on the 14th, This Is the End finally comes out, and this movie just looks freaking hilarious. I memean, you got Seth Rogen, you got Jonah Hill, you got Michael Cera, you got Jay Baruchel, Craig Robinson, Danny McBride, Emma Watson, Jason Segel, Paul Rudd, Rihanna, Kevin Hart, David Krumholtz, Mindy Kaling, Aziz Ansari, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and they're all playing themselves. And most of it's improv and them just trying to, like banter. And I think it's going to be very, very funny because it's a very interesting concept that they all play themselves in the sea of the world. And there's going to be a lot of blood and gore, I hear. And it's going to be really funny. I think it's going to be it could be a dark comedy, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it a dark comedy. It looks like they're going to make it just really silly. And I think this one could be very, very funny. And I'm definitely looking forward to see this one. So, yeah, definitely. If you're looking forward to it, This Is the End. It comes out the 14th. And then this next one, I don't know if this is going to go wide. I think it might. But it's The Bling Ring with Emma Watson. I don't really know what this is about, but I think this one's going to end up going wide. Because, I mean, Emma Watson is a pretty big actress, so I think this one's probably going to go wide. So I'm going to talk about that one, because I think it's probably going to go wide. So The Bling Ring, if anyone cares about that, that also comes out the 14th, and as well as This Is the End and Man of Steel. Sorry if I have any of these dates changed or something. I'm just reading the dates right now. They could change them later, but these are the official dates right now. So then the 21st, I think this one could end up being one of the best anime movies of the year. Maybe not the best one, because I think I know what the best one's going to be when it comes out. And the movie that I'm talking about is Monsters University. I think it's just going to be a really fun time. It's certainly not going to be anything like Toy Story, but the first Monsters Inc., that's one of my favorite Pixar movies. It has a lot of heart. Honestly, it really has a lot of heart. It touches your heart, especially the scene where Sully says goodbye to Boo, who's not going to make a cameo appearance in this, I don't think, unless they somehow have it in the future and then go to the past. I do find it interesting that they're making this a prequel and not a sequel. I think it's better to make it a prequel than a sequel, because I don't know what else they could do with Monsters Inc. 2, so I think it's better to see a prequel. But if they really want to do another movie, you gotta have a sequel, because there's still empty spaces here. I mean, yeah, I think it's just gonna be really good, and I really hope it's one of the things where they go from past to present, present to past. I really hope it's one of those things and not just stays in the past. But it does look very funny, and I don't know, I might see it. So the 21st Monster University, I don't know, I might check it out. I think it looks pretty funny. Definitely looks better than Epic, which I heard was awful and not for kids at all, very much. And then the 21st, this movie, a lot of people don't want to see it, but I do. I think it looks good. World War Z. Now, the reason I think this looks cool is because you think World War Z, you think Zombieland. And you'll probably think, wait a minute, that's just a rip off of Zombieland. No, it's not. It's nothing like Zombieland. Don't get me wrong, I love Zombieland. It's very funny. That's one of my favorite horror comedies. I think that's really funny. But this is nothing like that, because it's not even a horror movie. It's more of an action movie. I do think it's going to be a very interesting horror movie, because people who love action movies are going to go to see this, because they're going to think it's an action movie, and they're going to find it's a horror movie. And I think it's going to be really cool. And I think it does look really cool from the trailer. I think the effects look really cool. And the zombies themselves look really great. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. So the 21st, World War Z, anyone who's interested in it, like myself, it is coming out the 21st. So the next one we have is, this one, it could be funny, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be absolutely hilarious. I think it could be if you have Melissa McCarthy. But it's The Heat. And, this movie, it looks pretty funny, honestly. I think it is gonna be funny, but from the trailers, at least, there is some stupid stuff, like when she clinks the glasses together and her hand starts bleeding. That's just, it's just stupid stuff. Sorry, I got the hiccups. But I don't think it's gonna be, big, and I think This Is the End is really going to be the comedy of the summer, or the internship. I don't think this is going to be the comedy of the summer. I think for girls, though, like, if you want to have a nice, like, if you're a girl out there and you want to have, like, a nice girls' night out, this would be a good movie to see, because it's 2 girl cops. I think it'll be a fun one to watch on DVD. I'm definitely not going to see this in the theaters. So this one I think I'll pass on for the theaters, but I might see when it comes on DVD. I don't know, though. It could just be okay. And then this next one, I think this one, I don't know. I don't want to see this one very much. White House Down. This has Channing Tatum, Jamie Foxx, Maggie Gyllenhaal, James Woods, Richard Jenkins, Joey King, and Jason Clarke. Now, you might say, wait, but that movie sounds familiar. Because Olympus Has Fallen just came out in April. Or what? No, it was March when it just came out. And now this movie is by that same exact company, and they are just trying to make a completely different movie. But it's not a completely different movie at all, because it's just the same type of concept, and I don't really like that. And I don't know if that's going to work for everybody, and I don't think I'm going to see this movie because of that. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as that movie was. So I really don't think it's going to be as good as that movie could be. So I just don't know. I don't think it's going to be as good. But I do think it could be okay. We will see what happens. So we'll just have to see what happens. Now, so those are all the movies, but I am going to mention one other because it could go wide, and I feel like I feel really stupid that I forgot it. But that's because this movie isn't actually going wide until the 21st. It's coming out this week in New York, LA, and San Francisco, but it doesn't go wide until the 21st. And that movie is Much Ado About Nothing. And this one is in black and white. It's Joss Whedon. I always say Josh. I don't know why. Joss Whedon directing it. And it's Shakespeare. And if you know me, you know I really like Shakespeare. I do. I think he's a good, playwright. I think he wrote some really great plays. In school, actually, in my LA class, my language arts class, we are doing, we just finished reading Midsummer Night's Dream. And I watched the movie, and it wasn't very good. It was kind of weird. But this one doesn't look weird at all. It looks like it's going to be, in like a 50s setting, which I think is going to be interesting. So we'll see how that works, because of course the play wasn't written in the 50s. And I don't know the story of Much Ado About Nothing. Like with A Midsummer Night's Dream, Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, you know the stories to those, but you don't really know, I don't really know the story to Much Ado About Nothing. It's stories like the ones I said, you know the story to it, but this one I don't know the story to. If you guys know the story, please let me know. But I don't think it's going to be, I don't think I know the story to it, but I do think it's going to be really good, and I am looking forward to it. And it has Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion's a pretty good actor. So out of all the movies coming out, which one do I want to see the most? I think This Is the End comes down to it. That is the one I want to see the most. And The Internship. And I think Purge. And then I'd say Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is the one that everyone's going to want to see. But for people like me, I think This Is the End is going to be the one that I want to see the most. I think it just looks really, really funny. And so let me know which one you guys want to see the most. I'm going to turn the music off. In the comments below, let me know which movie you guys want to see the most. What's your favorite movie coming out in June? Which one do you think is going to be the best? I know some people have seen This Is the End already, so if you guys could tell me how this movie is, let me know, because I'd really like to hear your reviews of it. I know people have also seen The Internship, so if you've seen that one, let me know how that one is, because I'd love to hear reviews of it. So, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next video. Oh, by the way, I'm planning on watching The Fosters and Teen Wolf tonight. Oh, and the Goodwin Games. So, I will see you then. Bye.